Let's be totally honest for a second. America right now, it's exhausted. I mean, millions of us wake up every single morning feeling like we're just stuck on this endless financial treadmill. You see the headlines, right? And you definitely feel it in your wallet. Rent keeps going up, groceries are insanely expensive, and honestly, just getting by feels like a monumental task. But beneath all this chaos, hidden, literally just out of sight, something really extraordinary is happening. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a reality that might actually completely change how you view money forever.
Now, to really understand the solution here, we first have to look at the painful reality. 67%. That's right. Nearly 67% of Americans are currently living paycheck to paycheck. And, this isn't just some dry statistic. It's a massive, massive psychological burden. It's that constant anxiety of knowing one unexpected car repair or one medical bill could just completely derail your life. It kind of makes you feel trapped in this illusion that simply surviving is literally the best you can hope for.
But then we hit this absolutely staggering paradox. While the vast majority are struggling, over 1,000 ordinary Americans become millionaires every single day. Just let that sink in for a second. We're not talking about lottery winners, not tech billionaires, not Wall Street elites, just everyday people. So how in the world is this possible in the exact same economy where so many of us are barely staying afloat? Like, what on earth are they doing differently?
Section 1. The Invisible Everyday Millionaire. Let's figure this out.
So first things first, we need to completely dismantle this cultural myth we've all been spoon-fed. You know the one, that extreme wealth requires celebrity status or some massive trust fund. Well, what I found in the data actually tells a remarkably different story. Get this. A massive 79% of everyday millionaires received absolutely zero inheritance. Zero. Nothing. Only 21% received any inheritance at all. I think this brilliantly illustrates that wealth in America is overwhelmingly built over time. It's not just handed out on a silver platter.
And you know what? The narrative gets even more surprising from there. Nearly 9 in 10, that's 89%, are first-generation wealthy. These are folks who grew up in middle-class or lower-income households. They went to public schools, public universities. They didn't have some magical golden ticket. Actually, scratch that. They literally started from the exact same baseline as the vast majority of the country. It completely proves that the system isn't impossible if you just have the right playbook.
And here is where it gets incredibly relatable. It turns out the top careers of everyday millionaires are, drumroll please, engineers, teachers, accountants, managers, and attorneys. Notice who isn't on this list: pro athletes, actors, or giant CEOs. I mean, as much as we love accountants, it's not exactly the most glamorous Hollywood lifestyle, right? In fact, over a third of these millionaires never even earned a six-figure salary in a single year during their entire careers. No way, right? This just completely destroys the myth that you need a massive income to build lasting wealth.
Section 2. The Psychology of Consumption. If the people building wealth are so remarkably ordinary, why do so many others struggle?
Well, modern American culture is essentially this giant machine designed to keep you broke. It's constantly pushing us toward what we call loud debt. You know what I mean? It's that exhausting 24-hour cycle of social media flexing, following luxury influencers, financing a brand new car just to look successful, constantly buying proof of status. But true wealth builders, they practice quiet wealth. It's silent. It's patient. They drive older cars, they automate their investments, and they heavily practice delayed gratification. Simply put, debt is loud, but wealth whispers.
Which naturally leads us to the silent killer of wealth: lifestyle inflation. This is that absolutely devastating cycle where every time your income rises, your spending rises right along with it. A raise just instantly becomes a newer SUV or a bigger, fancier apartment. This trap is exactly why exhausted Americans are saving only like 5 to 8% of their income, while everyday millionaires are systematically investing 20 to 25% or more. They aren't superhuman or anything. They just flat out refuse to let their lifestyle inflate with their paycheck.
So, how do we actually break out of that cycle? Let's explore that in Section 3, Habits of Silent Wealth. I found this first habit completely fascinating, honestly, just because of how simple it is. Core habit number 1 is the invisible automation machine. The data shows that 8 out of 10 millionaires built the foundation of their wealth simply by automatically investing in their company 401ks. Before they ever even saw the money in their bank account, before they had a chance to spend a single dime emotionally, a percentage just disappeared into their investments. There's no trying to time the market here. They're literally just letting compound interest do the heavy lifting for 30 years.
Next up is core habit number 2, the debt allergy. And wow, the sheer discipline here is amazing. 73% of millionaires have never carried a credit card balance. Ever. I mean, sure, they use cards for convenience, but they absolutely refuse to pay high interest. They also drive their cars for over 7 years. Why? Well, because they view unnecessary high-interest debt and rapidly depreciating assets as silent wealth thieves. They buy assets to become wealthy, not liabilities just to look wealthy. And that brings us to core habit number 3, hyper-frugality in plain sight. It's kind of a fascinating paradox, really. 90% of millionaires still use a strict monthly budget, and 93% still clip coupons and search for deals. They live well below their means, but not because they're cheap. It's because financial discipline has become their core identity. They simply don't change who they are just because their bank account grew a few extra zeros. It really all boils down to this one core truth. The habits that built wealth are the exact same habits that protect it. These people aren't out there chasing the temporary high of social status. This frugal, highly disciplined mindset gives them the ultimate luxury in modern America. And that luxury? It's absolute control. Control over their stress, control over how they handle emergencies, and absolutely most importantly, control over their own time. Let's see how this all builds in the real world. Section 4, realistic American scenarios. When you look at how this plays out over decades, 3 really clear scenarios emerge. Think about the teacher. They have a pretty modest income, but thanks to consistent, automated investing, they quietly become a millionaire by retirement. Now contrast that with the trapped couple. Their income keeps rising, sure, but so does their lifestyle inflation and luxury debt, leaving them with a super high income but zero actual wealth. And finally, the first-gen builder. A modest income working, say, construction, deeply avoiding bad debt, maybe building a small side business, resulting in deep generational stability. The takeaway here is absolutely definitive. Your behavior dictates your financial destiny far more than your raw income ever will. Which brings us to a massive societal pivot in Section 5, redefining the American dream. The stakes here go way beyond just personal finance. When we Americans lose the ability to build wealth, that financial stress literally fractures communities. But there is an actionable blueprint. Here are 5 steps you can implement today. 1. Automate your investing immediately because consistency always beats perfection. 2. Track your spending honestly. Trust me, awareness changes behavior. 3. Avoid lifestyle inflation. When you get a raise, increase your investments, not your spending. 4. Build emergency savings to buy yourself some psychological peace. And finally, 5. Invest in your own skills to grow your income, but pair it with the discipline of the first 4 steps. Ultimately, we have to change what we're aiming for here. We need to redefine success by the freedom to own your time, because that is real wealth. We really have to stop defining our success by social media validation or by what car is sitting in the driveway or the brand of clothes we wear. True wealth, it's the freedom to breathe. It's the freedom to rest and the profound psychological peace of knowing you are in total control of your life. And I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. The world is changing rapidly, right? And the next decade will financially transform millions of people. Some are going to be trapped by the noise, while others will quietly build their freedom. So ask yourself, who will be prepared for it? Will you adopt these invisible habits and actively take control of your financial future? Because the blueprint is right there in front of you. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly, highly encourage you to take that very first silent step today.